This place is so pretty. There's so many plants. How do they grow like this?
Ah, an excellent question, my inquisitive apprentice. Plants are fascinating organisms with intricate systems. Would you like a scientific breakdown?
Yes, please.
Well, first things first, partner. Plants need the basics to survive, just like how I need food, water, and a reason to keep going.
You mean your friend's heart?
That ain't the most delicate way to put it, but sure.
Plants aren't so different. They need sunlight, water, and nutrients from the soil to stay alive.
So plants eat?
Sorta. They make their own food, kinda like how I make my legendary protein shakes. The process is called photosynthesis. Plants absorb sunlight and use it to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose, which they use for energy.
Whoa, it's like they have their own little kitchens inside them.
Exactly. Except instead of a blender and a fridge full of gains, they use chlorophyll and, science? Yes, Tanzanico, science. Alright, silly. What do you already know about plants?
Well, I know they start off as seeds, and then they grow into little plants, and then they get flowers, right?
Good start, but let's dive a little deeper.
Okay, so plants start as seeds, and when they're planted in the ground, they grow roots to drink water, and then a stem comes up with the leaves to eat sunlight, right?
Right, and those roots are very important. Plants have two types, fibrous roots and taproots.
Oh, I know this one. Taproots are the big, thick ones that grow down deep into the ground like a giant anchor.
Exactly. Taproots help plants get water from deep underground. They're really good at storing nutrients, too.
And fibrous roots are like a big net, right? They spread out all over the place to soak up water close to the surface.
Exactly. Fibrous roots are a network that helps plants absorb water and nutrients from the soil around them.
So plants are like little food factories. They use their roots to drink and their leaves to eat sunlight. It's like they're superheroes in a way. Nico, I know plants grow, but do they just keep getting taller forever?
Good question, kid. Plants grow in two ways, primary growth and secondary growth.
What's the difference?
Primary growth is when a plant grows taller or longer. It's kind of like the plant's way of stretching out, reaching for more sunlight or digging deeper for water.
So primary growth is like when I try to reach the top shelf for beakers?
Yup, but then there's secondary growth. That's when a plant grows thicker, like when a tree trunk gets wider.
Oh, so primary growth makes it taller and secondary growth makes it stronger?
You got it. Think of it like working out. Primary growth is like stretching to get taller, and secondary growth is like lifting weights to get swole.
So what you're saying is trees hit the gym?
Pretty much. Some plants just keep stacking on the muscle year after year. That's how you get those big century-old trees.
Whoa, trees really are the strongest plants. So, plants have tiny kitchens inside them. But where do they keep their food?
And that right there is where the xylem and phloem come in.
The what now?
Xylem, phloem. They're like the delivery trucks of the plant world. Xylem carries water and nutrients up from the roots, and the phloem moves the food down where it's needed.
It's more like a two-way transportation system.
Oh, like how I carry snacks in my pockets and then eat them when I get hungry?
Exactly. But wait, do you actually have snacks in your pockets right now?
You don't even have pockets.
Always.
An impressively accurate comparison. Xylem is responsible for moving water, and as plants grow, they develop layers of xylem in their stems. This is what creates rings in trees.
And that's how you can tell how old a tree is. Count the rings like counting bullet holes on a wanted poster.
That is so cool. I want to count tree rings now.
Just don't start cutting down trees to do it.
Never. I'll go find trees that have already fallen.
Good kid.
So, plants make their own food, but how do they drink?
Oh, that's where transpiration comes in.
Whoa, what's that?
When a plant releases water vapor through tiny openings called stomata, it creates a pull that helps draw more water up from the roots through the xylem. It's kind of like when you sip through a straw, but the plant does it all on its own.
So, plants are just really good at drinking with invisible straws?
Sorta, except they don't have mouths, or hands, or a glass of water.
That's so cool.
Transpiration also helps keep plants cool and moves nutrients through their systems. It's essential for their survival.
Okay, so plants eat light, drink through invisible straws, and have food delivery trucks inside of them? Plants are so weird.
And we haven't even covered their organ systems yet.
Whoa. So you're saying plants have organs?
If they do, I ain't never seen a plant with a liver before.
Not like that. Plants have two main organ systems, the root system and the shoot system.
Okay. Roots are underground and shoots are above ground?
Precisely. The root system absorbs water and nutrients from the soil, while the shoot system includes the stems, leaves, and flowers. It transports resources and helps the plant grow.
So the roots are like underground straws and the shoots are like, plant arms?
A reasonable comparison, though I prefer to say that the shoot system is responsible for photosynthesis, reproduction, and support. So basically, if plants were people, the roots would be the legs, sucking up nutrients, and the shoot system would be everything else, making sure they don't fall over and die.
That's, not entirely wrong.
That means flowers are plant heads?
Technically, yes.
So what? You're saying if I pluck a flower, I'm committing murder?
Not exactly. Plants can regrow if you don't pull them out by the roots.
Good. Wouldn't want a bounty on my head from the flower folk.
Imagine getting haunted by a ghost, Daisy.
A vengeful flower. Scary.
Let's move on. We also have different tissue types in plants. Dermal, vascular, and ground tissue.
Ground tissue sounds like it should
Dermal
be dirt.
tissue is like the plant's skin. It protects the plant from damage and prevents water loss.
Like a cowboy's duster coat, keeping out the dust and the heat.
Exactly. Then there's vascular tissue, which includes the xylem and phloem, the plant's transportation system. And lastly, ground tissue, which fills in the spaces and helps with storage, support, and photosynthesis.
So dermal is skin, vascular is veins, and ground is muscle?
Quite the astute observation, my young pupil.
Yay! I'm learning!
Plants are actually pretty complex when you think about it.
More complicated than some folk I know.
You mean yourself?
Oh, you hush. Alright, I reckon it's my turn to talk about how plants stay alive.
Ooh, like how they eat light and drink with invisible straws?
That's part of it. But a plant also needs air, the right temperature, and room to grow. Just like how I need...
That human heart of yours?
You finish my sentence one more time and I'm tossing you in the river.
There's no river here.
I'll find one.
So, plants need air, but they don't have noses.
True, but they've got something better. Stomata. Tiny little openings in their leaves that let carbon dioxide in and oxygen out.
These stomata regulate gas exchange and water loss, which ties into transpiration.
They're like tiny breathing holes.
More like valves.
And just like how folks cover their mouths in a dust storm, plants got a way to protect themselves too. The cuticle.
Cuticle? Like fingernails?
Kinda. It's a waxy layer on leaves that keeps the water from evaporating too fast. Keeps them from drying out, especially in hot places.
So it's basically like putting on lotion?
That's one way to put it.
So, plants are breathing, drinking, sun-eating things with built-in raincoats?
A surprisingly accurate summary.
So, now that we know how plants survive, let's talk about how they react to the world around them.
Wait. Plants can react to stuff?
Yep, they don't have brains, but they can still respond to things like light, gravity, water, and touch.
Plants have feelings?
Not like that.
So I ain't gotta worry about a tumbleweed holding a grudge against me?
No, but plants do have something called tropisms. which are their way of growing toward or away from certain things.
Ooh, like what you said earlier?
Mm-hmm. There's phototropism, where plants grow toward light, gravitropism, where roots grow down into the ground and stems grow up, thigmotropism, which happens when plants respond to touch, like vines wrapping around things, and hydrotropism, where roots grow toward moisture in the soil.
So, phototropism is like me moving towards a snack. Gravitropism is like always knowing which way is down. Thigmotropism is like a hug. And hydrotropism is like sniffing out water?
That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah, except if plants hugged people, we'd probably say they were attacking us.
Huh. Ever seen a Venus flytrap in action? Feels like an attack to me.
Yeah. Is that an example of thigmotropism?
Yeah, as well as how mimosa plants fold their leaves when you touch them.
Plants are the weirdest things ever.
Indeed, but their complexity is what makes them fascinating.
Ugh, I will never look at a plant the same way again. Wow, I learned so much today. I can't believe all the things plants can do.
Yep, they're tougher than they look. They've been around for millions of years for a reason.
And they're always doing their best to grow and survive. Kinda like us.
Yeah, we all have our ways of reacting to the world. Plants just do it in their own unique way.
Yes, and understanding that is the first step towards appreciating them for their role in the ecosystems.
I'm going to give up my nursing career and become the best and smartest plant expert ever.